Hello, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, I'm going to be telling you guys about the best B2B cold email script strategies. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, if this is your first time seeing me, my name is Georgie Tishin, and I'm the co-founder of Borks, a B2B lead generation firm, which is currently working with over 30 active clients, and we're accumulatively sending about 1.5 million emails per month. Okay, now I'm also the founder of Lead Academy, which is the most active community of B2B cold email experts on the market at the moment. We have over 200 lead generation agency owners and other agency owners running cold email in our group. So it's pretty safe to say that I've seen what works when it comes to script writing. I've seen not only through our campaigns, not only through sending millions of emails for dozens of different clients, but also what works for the people who are in Lead Academy. Because when those people go and they ask for help and then they get feedback and then they tell us what ended up working and not working, we end up seeing what ends up working in the grand scheme of things. Okay, so that's why I'm making this video. I want to share with you guys what I've learned as currently working at the time of posting this video. But with that being said, let's get into it. Okay, now the first thing that I want to talk about is the honest truth. Now, although I'm going to share what works best, I want to make this abundantly clear. There's no one right way of doing cold email, right? Everything that I'm going to show you guys is just what's worked best at this exact time for specifically us and our specific clients, right? If you guys are going to be doing outreach on a completely different, platform, on a completely different ICP, or for at a completely different time of the year, right? Like, things are going to be different. Okay. Now, just because one script didn't work for me and I didn't mention it in this video doesn't mean that it won't work for you. Everything in cold email is situational. It's all about the offer. It's all about the ideal client profile. And although this video is going to contain a lot of useful information, which I do personally think is kind of evergreen, I feel like the concepts in this video work everywhere. I just want to make that abundantly clear because I don't want you guys to rule out any possibilities just because of the stuff that I said in the video. Okay, but let's get into it. Now, the first angle is the fast and simple angle. Now, the fast and simple angle is one of the best performing script formats that we use in every single one of our campaigns, regardless. Okay. Now, it's meant to be a direct, fast, and simple way of pitching your offer without any fluff whatsoever. Right now, here's an example of a cold email using the fast and simple angle. Just something as simple as, "Hey, first name, do you want a lead list of 5K free leads? Kindest regards, Georgie Tishin." Right? Straight up, you just ask a question, right? Do you want my lead magnet? That's all it is, right? Very simple. Now, it's legitimately just a greeting, an offer, and a signature. And the reason why the fast and simple script works is because a lot of people are honestly sick of the fluff. Okay, all of the "I know your time is valuable and I was scrolling around on Facebook and found you guys," or something like, "Hey, nice YouTube video, by the way, do you want SEO?" All of those like hooks which are meant to grab your attention are really starting to get old. Okay, now here's a real example of a cold email that I received that could have been far better if they had used a strategy like this. Right, so this is Isabel from something called I think it's success.ai. Yeah, success.ai. Now, she said, "Hello, Georgie. I know your time is valuable, so I'll get right to the point. What does the growth stack look like at Borks? We also run success.ai, an outbound automation tool that is doing well. A few major companies in the Valley have signed up, and we're still growing. To be honest, it's all about the product market fit, which you are a professional, you would surely understand. Are you already using a different service? If so, just let me know what it is and how you use it. I'll be happy to send over a proposal for Borks." Right? Now, first and foremost, it is just not a good look for a company who supposedly is supposed to, I guess, be a B2B outbound company to send an email like this, because they've literally made every mistake in the book, right? She's wasting my time by saying your time is valuable, which is contradictory to the point of saying that. You're making the email unnecessarily long. You're asking me like 3 questions in the whole cold email, right? And on top of that, her call to action is just so weak, right? Just let me send you a proposal. Like, what is that? Like, are we back in like, this is not like 2020 where you could just send basic cold emails and just get results. You have to actually try now, okay? Now, in this essence, this company is called success.ai, and in essence, basically what they do is they're just clay.com, but they're just also able to send cold emails, right? So that's all this company is. It's clay.com, and they're also able to send cold emails, and it is also cheaper than Clay from what I saw on their website, okay? Now, as soon as I read, I know your time is valuable, yada, 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 I completely lost interest, okay? Now, like, it makes no sense to mention that, right? No sense to mention that, oh, I know your time is valuable, and then you continue to push a bunch of filler content just to make the email sound conversational, okay? Now, she talked more about, like, completely irrelevant things than actually the software and why I would want to use it, right? And on top of the fact that she didn't talk much about the software, she didn't actually mention any benefits. She didn't mention like why I should be using success.ai and not anything else, or maybe even use what I'm using now. Okay, she gave me no reason. Okay, and I didn't respond because that code email, it's just not that good. Okay, now if she had emailed me something like, hey, first name, we built a tool that does exactly what Clay does for 2 times cheaper. Interested? That is something that I would 100% respond to, right? Because in this situation, they've considered, or they've made a fast and short script, which actually gives me something that I want, right? Assuming the fact that I'm a lead generation agency owner, they can make the assumption that I'm most likely using something like Clay or something similar. Meaning, if they can simply save me money, then I'm willing to give them some of the money that they're going to save me, right? Very, very simple script. Now, typically, scripts like this work better when you're selling something complex, right? It's kind of almost like a pattern interrupt, right? Where you're selling something complex, but then you make it so simple, okay? Then you always want to keep them end result focused, meaning forget about selling like SEO services. You're not selling SEO. You're selling the revenue added to your business in result of SEO, right? Meaning whenever you're doing a script like this, you always want to keep it result based, right? And honestly, you want to keep every script result based, but this one specifically, right? Now, these scripts work really well when what you're selling is something that is unique as well, like not SEO, for example, right? Like success.ai, which is again a Clay alternative, there's not that many Clay alternatives, right? It's a pretty unique offer in the grand scheme of things. So this would have been a great way of pitching that offer. Now, here's an example of how you could use this exact script for something like ERC grants. For those of you guys who are not aware, ERC stands for, I think, Employment Retention Credits. Basically, in the US, when like the pandemic was happening, you could basically get paid as a business owner for not firing your people because you're not contributing to unemployment, right? So from what I understand, that's how that works. Here's an example of how you could do something like that for an ERC grants offer, right? You could say something like, hey, first name, the government owes you $500K to $1.5 million because of employment credits post-COVID. We can help you get them. No risk to you. Interested? Right? Like an email like this, it's so simple, right? It's so stupid simple. And under the circumstances that the person who's receiving this email actually knows what ERC is, this is probably going to be one of the best and most effective ways that you can reach out to these people, right? So makes perfect sense. Now let's move on. Okay. Now we're going to talk about the poke the bear angle. Now, poke the bear scripts are another script strategy that we always test, right? Poke the bear scripts refer to asking a prospect a straight up question and then using that to pitch your services, okay? Like, for example, I'm going to use that example from the previous slide, which is success.ai, and I'm just going to say something like, hey, first name, why are you guys still using clay.com? We built an alternative that is 3 times cheaper, 2 times faster, and has the same exact data. Can I send over a quick demo of success.ai? Now, why does this work? Straight up, there's no fluff, right? We're not saying random stuff that doesn't make a difference, right? We're direct to the point, and we give them a question which makes them think to themselves, like, why am I using Clay, right? And on top of that, we're also talking about things that actually matter. People who use Clay definitely care about the price, definitely care about the time, and definitely want their data. So if you can have less price, or I guess cheaper price, spend less time, or didn't mean to do that, and then on top of that, also have the same result, then why wouldn't they want to do that? Everybody wants to get everything cheaper, faster, and easier, okay? So I'm mentioning things that actually matter. Now, the reason why these scripts work is because they're what we like to call pattern interrupts, right? Now, while everyone else is beating around the bush, they're trying to be nice, they're sugarcoating what they're trying to say, you're going to be straight up, right? The point of making this question is to really get them to think, well, wait, why am I using Clay? Like, really, like, what's the reason? Right? And if what you're offering is actually good, then they're always going to say yes to switching over. If they're using Clay and, they're paying all this money and they're spending all this time and it's not that easy, and all of a sudden you are a better solution which does the same thing for cheaper and faster, and you send them this email, like, they're going to go with you, right? It's just simple common sense to go with you, okay? So if what you're offering is actually good, then they're always going to say yes. Okay. Now you don't have to use a lead magnet in the poke the bear angle, right? And just so everyone's on the same page, the lead magnet is the part where you offer to send over a quick demo. You can always use a different call to action, like for example, just direct them to purchasing right away, or direct them to, get a demo or anything like that. But from what we've personally seen in our campaigns, when you're doing a poke the bear campaign, doing it with a lead magnet is what you're going to have the best results with. Okay. Now, again, we've seen poke the bear angles work best when you're running a campaign for something that is very industry disruptive. Like, for example, a software or service that is priced significantly cheaper than everything else on the market due to a unique implementation of something. Okay. This makes sense. It's like the clay angle, right? You're going on the pricing. Okay. Another example is a software or service that solves an exceptionally big issue at a company. So, for example, why are you paying your accountant $100K a year? Our software can do it for you. If you have sort of accounting product or accounting service or accounting software, which can solve a huge problem out of the business, even if it doesn't result in a saving, but just a better solution, that could be an angle you run this for. Or companies that are clearly missing out on a ton of potential revenue. Like, for example, why are you not sending to your newsletter with 100,000 people on it? Right now, those are kind of the industries where we've seen it work best. Now, although those are the industries where we see it work best, we still test the poke the bear angle on every campaign, just because it is one of the top 3 that we seen personally work the best. Okay. But with that being said, let's go to the next one. Now, the next one is the case study script. Now, the case study script is a very simple script, right? You're basically centering your outreach around the fact that you've already done work for a company very similar to the one you're contacting. Right now, this is only going to work if the case study is either one, really good. We're talking about like top 1 percentile of results. Okay. Or if the company you're reaching out to will probably know the company that you did the work for. Right now, for example, imagine hypothetically speaking, you're reaching out to car companies, right? Like you're reaching out to car manufacturing companies. If you helped Mercedes-Benz achieve X result, when you reach out to BMW or you reach out to Ford or you reach out to Chevrolet, they're gonna know who Mercedes-Benz is, right? Even if what you did is minuscule and it's not that big of a deal, they're gonna know who Mercedes-Benz is, meaning that is your unique angle, okay? Or on the other hand, let's say, we tone it down a notch, and let's say you're reaching out to marketing agencies. If you helped, say, an SEO agency 10x their revenue, straight up, you 10x their business, then when you reach out to something like a pay-per-click agency, right, you can mention the SEO case study. And even though SEO is not the same thing as PPC, just the pure amount of results that you got for that other company will suffice enough to go and use this as an angle, okay? Now, again, let's use that success.ai company, and I'll make an example of using this script strategy. Hey, first name. We just helped Nick from Leadbird save over $100K a year by switching over from Clay to success.ai. Now, we did the same thing, but cheaper, faster, and better. Are you interested in a quick demo for a company name? Kindest regards, George Decision, right? Now, a script like this would also work really well only because of the fact the case study is very relevant. Now, for those of you who don't know, Leadbird is a lead generation agency, right? Their founder is like publicly known to do lead gen. He like posts a bunch of content online. And if you're going to reach out to another lead generation agency owner, like for example, myself, using this as a case study is going to be one of the easiest ways to get me to try your product. Okay. That's another example of how the success.ai company could have approached me, but that's kind of like the idea. If you're in an industry where case studies are possible, like, and what I mean by that is, for example, in web design, like case studies don't do as much in web design, because in web design, what you can't really quantify what a website results in, right? Obviously you could say that I work with X, Y, and Z, but there aren't necessarily like super quantifiable case studies. Then this doesn't work as well. But if you're in an industry where you can really quantify what it is you're doing, this is going to be one of the best performing angles under the contingency you have good case studies. Okay. So with that being said, that is the end of the video. But before you go, I just want to say 2 things. If you guys do want done for you lead gen for cold email, You can apply to work with my company, Borks. We don't work with anybody, if I'm being honest. We're at the point where we are pretty selective with who we work with. But if you are a B2B marketing company or a B2B service-based business, I should say, then feel free to book a call. Worst case scenario, you'll just get on a call with me. It'll just be like 30 minutes of like advice, outreach. We'll just consult about what you guys are doing right now, how you can improve, and worst case scenario, that's all that happens, okay? But if you aren't ready for a done for you and you just want to learn how to do lead gen, right? Or you just want to do lead gen on your own and you don't want to outsource it, consider joining Lead Academy. It's $99 a month, full money back guarantee if you don't like it. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed, please like and subscribe. We are still a small channel, approaching 2,000, so really excited for that. I'll have all the links in the description as well as this document. But with that being said, until next time.